Oh, yeah, boy. What is up, everybody? How are we doing this fine Thursday? How are we doing today? Today is, guess what? The fucking 50th episode of Live with the King. Today, as I said, is Thursday, March 26th, and I am pleased to be here with you guys. Oh yeah. Already got some people up in the house already commenting in the fucking chat. If you guys are in the chat, go ahead, drop a fucking what up, what it is, how we doing. I got a few questions already asking me how I'm doing during this quarantine, especially by my man J-Man here. How's quarantine, Corey? I am enjoying it. Like I said before, like I said previously, it's taken some adjusting. It's taken a little bit of adjusting, but nothing too crazy. Honestly, here in San Diego, it doesn't feel too crazy as far as quarantine is concerned. There's less people on the roads. I haven't been going out nearly as much, only to get the essentials as far as like going and picking up food and stuff. So there's that. But honestly, as far as it's concerned, as far as this whole fucking beer flu is concerned, I'm not seeing much, honestly. Like it doesn't seem to faze me. However, propaganda from the fucking mainstream news media is going to sit here and tell you today that the United States has the highest cases of coronavirus in the world. Yeah. It's much like ADD, I bet, where you're sitting here and you're fucking diagnosing people with flu-like symptoms that they now have this, even though, they could have tests and they could do all this other shit. It's like, yeah, you know what? Fuck you. I don't believe you. I don't believe any of that shit. It's all it means to fucking scare people, get them indoors, fuck our economy like they're doing right now, and just let people sit on their fucking thumbs and hope that the government's going to fucking bail them out more too as well. So that's essentially what's going on today. You guys are not abreast of the situation going on financially. But I mean, sure, we'll talk about that a little bit today. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to go to my fucking channel. And I'm going to hit the old likey boy button. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dude, you're annoying. Poopy pants. All right, we got that taken care of. So check that one off the box. Let's see who we got in the chat. We got Max. We got Gladius. We got Matt W. We got Tinius. J-Man. I'm the 9. How we all doing today, guys? Glad to see you in the chat. The game plan today is this. I'm going to probably try to get on my high horse or get off my high horse. We'll get on the high horse first, talk about some subjects, and then get some phone calls. What we're going to do today is this. I'm going to have you guys, I'm going to post a link to StreamYard in the chat, and I'm going to have you guys come on the air. If you don't want to have your face shown, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just keep your camera off. I do recommend that you have I do recommend that you have headphones though, because if you're going to be listening to the show, which it's obviously going to have to do so, you need to have headphones. So if you're going to call in today, if you're going to click the StreamYard's link, you don't have to have the camera on, but you do need to have headphones. So you can today, please do get your headphones ready. I'm going to try to hit the calls in about 45 minutes to about an hour. Let's see, maybe a little bit earlier than that. So let's shoot for the 45-minute mark. I do believe what's going on. Today is Friday in Australia. Don't let this guy fool you. Scott Offit says, what's going on, my man? How we doing? What's up, brother? In 2 weeks, when people don't see bodies dropping everywhere, they're going to wake up to the greatest hoax in modern history. I agree. I concur. Where artist thou? I'm at home. I'm on the air. I'm on the internet right now talking to people. By the way, thank you very much for sending me that link to that book. I began listening to it last night while I did my cardio session on my little pedal bike. Good cardio session too, and so far so good on the book. So I'm excited to probably do the same routine tonight. That was a good little routine that I added in, listening to an audiobook while on the bike. Yeah. I'm a little bit behind on meals today. I don't know why. I haven't really been wanting to eat as much today. I kind of like cracked into my workout a little bit sooner than I wanted to. And then, just been fucking rocking and rolling too. So that's kind of that. It is a cold and windy day here in San Diego, which I find kind of strange. You don't normally get that, but it is cold and windy here. What's the let's take a look at the old temperature here. It's probably like 62 degrees or something like that, but it to me is not nice. No, it's 59 plus it's windy as fuck, which is annoying AF. 57, excuse me. 57 with some wind today. I don't like it at all. But the thing I do like is that the sun is staying out a little bit longer. Yeah. So there is that. There is that. Cracked on a fucking awesome, awesome arms workout today. My fucking arms were blasted, which I'm very excited about. I've changed a few things up with my arm workouts. I'm starting to get more in tune with lifting arms. Before it was just kind of like, meh, whatever. And then I've kind of been correcting and doing a few things. Ooh, one cool thing that I've been doing lately too that I kind of brought in. This sounds a little bit weird, but I got these puppies off of Amazon a little while ago. Check that shit out. Look at this. Exercise them digis with jujitsu. My grips were all screwed. I was like gripping way too hard on everything, and that's one thing I noticed was getting messed up with my workouts with lifting arms because I was gripping too hard and I wasn't letting the bar or the dumbbell fall all the way down to the, like, not the tips of my fingers, but that first, can you call it a knuckle? That's not a knuckle. Those are knuckles. The first extender right here. I watched some videos online and noticed that's what I was doing wrong. And also, when lifting, I was like squeezing too much beforehand and not letting the muscle really do the work. And you got to like lift, you got to lift from the elbow. It sounds weird, but you got to let the muscle fully extend and like lift from the elbow. The bicep and the tricep is there to support the motion of the elbow. So I had to kind of let that go. I think I was like holding on too tight with the forearms. Like I said, from 4.5 years, 4 years plus of jujitsu, you kind of get used to like being clamped. Bad habit, I'm sure. So now it's been kind of nice. Obviously, no jujitsu with the quarantine. So now I'm kind of being able to rehab certain issues that I've had with my body because of jujitsu and because of just fucking goddamn CrossFit and all sorts of other shit in the past, just beating myself up. So now I really get to work on I get to work on kind of like rehabbing on top of like actual full squeeze in the muscles and all this other stuff. It's going to be getting back into jujitsu is going to be weird, but the cool part is I think it's going to be for everybody. Although I really do have a feeling that like my professors and the guys that train professionally, I'm sure they're opening it up. They're probably going and training by themselves, or not by themselves, but together. So good for them. They got to keep their jujitsu strong because they're competitors. So I get it. Yeah, I squeeze everything super hard. Yeah, I mean, that's the name of the game, is that muscle contraction. But the thing is, if you're squeezing the wrong muscle groups incorrectly, you're going to create some imbalances. So it's been a fun little, how can I explain this? Like, I don't want to call it a journey. Yeah, fuck it. We'll call it a little journey of like rehabbing and like kind of putting more of a focus on bodybuilding right now, of like getting my physique like in tune and getting my body operating optimally again. So really good stuff. Obviously watching the body fat fall too as well. Shit, where am I? I'm like almost 6 weeks into this diet, into this cut. So I'm excited to see after, because I'm going full bore 16 weeks for sure. And I think even after that, I'm going to remain on this type of diet. And then maybe add like one more cheat meal in a week. We'll see. But so far, so good. I'm absolutely loving the discipline. Who knows in 16 weeks if we're even going to be able to have cheat meals, honestly, because shit might be so fucked. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but as of today, not to get into fucking bad news, but whatever, that's kind of how we got to do business. Trying to get the exact number. Excuse me. In 1 week, a record of 3.3 million Americans just filed for unemployment benefits. 3.3 million. The highest before this was in 2009 with 665,000 people filing for unemployment within 1 week. The highest before that was in 1982 with 695,000. And here in 2020, 3.3 million. 3.3 million. They're dumping a butt ton of money into the economy as well. I think they just put 570 billion. The government bought bonds. 570 million, something along those lines. Let's see. I think that's correct. Yeah, something along those lines. Also, beep 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 ba boop beep 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 bop beep ba boop. There was a photo that I just had that I'm trying to quote. Supposedly divorce rates are already jumping in corona quarantine couples, supposedly. Either way, what it comes down to, guys, is this. I highly believe that a lot of this stuff, a lot of this reporting, everything that's going on, especially as of today, I think they said there's like 2,100 confirmed cases here in the United States of coronavirus. And they're saying that the United States now has the highest rate of coronavirus. What's it called? Fuck, come on. Confirmed cases. The U.S. now has more confirmed coronavirus cases than any other nation. Let's pull this up. I should be fucking pulling this stuff up on the screen, but I don't care. I don't want it in the YouTubes. All right, here we go. The U.S. has overtaken China as a country with the most cases in the world of the novel CV. China had held the top spot since the deadly virus began spreading in December. There were 82,404 confirmed infections across America. New York is the center of the pandemic in the U.S. with 37,802 infections, accounting for nearly half of all cases in the country. China has reported sustained decline in the number of newly domestically transmitted infections. The country had 81,000. Yeah, okay. The U.S. has only a fraction of China's population with just over 33 million or 330 million residents compared to 1.4 billion in China. Near blanket restrictions. Okay, whatever. Who cares? But as infections have been increasing rapidly in the U.S. and Europe, many countries in Asia are experiencing upticks of so-called imported infections. There were more than 526,000 cases worldwide Thursday. Fatalities in the U.S. from the new CV topped 1,170 on Thursday. 1,170 deaths, supposedly. Straining under the weight of the pandemic. Yep. So pretty much they're talking about exactly what I just talked about. Congress is aiming to give families and businesses a financial shield against the worst of the fallout. I don't like it. I don't like any of this stuff. It all stinks. My fucking spidey senses are fucking tingling. The fact that they're dumping all this money into the economy, the fact that they're going to try to do a $2 trillion stimulus package right now in order to fucking hand out checks to people. Some are even saying that they're going to pay fucking people's, what's it called? That they're asking people that this bill or whatever might pay for their salary if it's under 150,000 a year. I don't like any of this stuff. This makes people dependent on the government. It makes the only solution to all this stuff government. If the government really wanted to step in and do something, they should put a moratorium on all all expenses. So put a moratorium on rent. Like even people that have loans, like who cares? 3 months, 6 months, no penalty, no pay. Rent and utilities, why not? You know what I'm saying? Like try that out. Debt and credit card stuff, like don't worry about it kind of deal for 3 to 6 months. That's what we should be doing. And then we'll just pick up where we left off when the economy's ticking and all this stuff is good to go. Right. So that's how it should be. Yeah. So that to me, all this stuff just seems very, very sketchy. as you guys can see, I don't know if you've heard, like I said, I don't really follow politics too much, but now that I'm kind of sitting around, there's certain things that pop up, especially if I like look at Twitter or if I look at TikTok or whatever, like certain things will pop up. So for instance, right now, the Democrats are trying to put in all these like Green New Deal type of stuff into this new spending stimulus package and all this other shit. It's all a fucking joke. It's all a sham. And of course, it's getting denied and it's taking way more time and all this other stuff. But yeah, it's absolutely silly. Like they're not taking an adult approach to this. They're instead taking an approach that's going to benefit Wall Street, that's going to benefit the bankers, that's going to benefit the Fed, right? Like, why are we taking out more money? Like an interest-free loan from the Fed of $2 trillion. That's fucking ridiculous. Our country's already at $23.5 trillion in debt. Why are we going to add $2 more trillion to this? I forgot what percentage of the US GDP that was, but it's pretty high up there. As far as the percentage is concerned, we can't pay that back. It's like our government is fucking just absolutely fucking irresponsible with spending. We should not be sitting here saying, hey, let's spend more money. Let's go into more debt. It's retarded. But people are fearful. People have been raised to be dependent on the government, and people want things handed to them for free, especially when they start going through fucking any type of adversity in life. So I think it's irresponsible. I think that people, like, instead, what we should do is put a moratorium down. People that do have some kind of income start saving up money, use that money to pay off debts when either now or when we get out of this thing, right? Be able to pay for your basic essentials of like being able to have food. You don't have to worry about water. You don't have to worry about power. You don't have to worry about paying your insurance. You don't have to worry about paying your rent. Just chill the fuck out. Everybody chill the fuck out. If this was a true quarantine, if this were a true quarantine, but the fact of the matter is it's not. It is meant to promote and push a government agenda to fucking extend the powers of the government, put us more and more in debt, inflate the dollar, crash the economy, and cause fucking absolute mayhem. It's fucking irresponsible is really what I got to say. So that's my thoughts on all that shit. It's absolutely fucking asinine that people would even be considering doing this. And the fact that there are people out there that are supporting it, you people need to STFU and stop worrying about just yourself and instead worrying about what this is going to do, what the fallout's really going to be. So yeah, anyway, that's my thought. That's really the fucking, like, that really is the responsible thing to do. Let's scroll up. You guys are killing it in the chat right now. I made keto pizza with coconut flour today, under 250 cal. It was decent. I've tried to do keto pizzas in the past. It's just whatever. I did cauliflower crust too. That was all right. Do they make bath mates for fingers? I want to grow the girth of my digits. I just showed you something you could do for your fingers, you silly goose. Go ahead and get these puppies, right? And then you could get those grippy grips. Damn, I got to take a piss too. Holy crap already. Masculine Geek got shut down. Yeah, they got cut off last night. Donovan Sharp got cut off yesterday. Today, he lost his channel. And then he got his channel restored a couple hours later, which was insane. God Amongst Men. You ever do spider push-ups? Works hands good. Yeah, I've done them before. They're hard. I didn't get informed you were going live on my YT feed, and you also didn't show up. I saw that notice on my FB, WTF. Yeah, they're messing with the algorithms right now. Anything that has to do with masculinity is getting throttled. You can see that just by the fact that Masculine Geek, just having that name in of itself, caused them to be cut off last night. Supposedly it's the algorithm, but I don't think it is. I think it's just a way to blame it on the algorithm. You know, never let a good crisis go to waste. Implement your tyrannical rule during a crisis. That's essentially what's going on. There's insane amounts of overreach going on right now. 30 people are up in the chat live right now. Please do hit that like button in order to tell that YouTube algorithm that they can suck on these balls. Suck on these balls. I've heard the calisthenics and body weight does not tax the central nervous system as much, making recovery faster. Ooh. At this point in time, I wouldn't be worrying about recovery because you guys should be recovering well. You have plenty of time to rest. You have plenty of time to sleep. You have plenty of time to sleep. And then you also have plenty of time to add nutrients in through eating and proper nutrition. Uh, Most people think and they worry about overtraining, but they've never pushed themselves to the even close to the brink of that stuff. So, anyway, I'm gonna mute this real quick because I can't believe I just took a leak before getting on the air, and now I gotta go. So give me 30 seconds. Oh yeah. Welcome back to myself. That was quite refreshing. Whew. Oh yeah. Oh. Anyway, so there's that. That's my thought process on a lot of stuff. Calisthenics. It's going to be hard with calisthenics for you to build up body mass, like as far as like actually getting hypertrophy with the muscle. Usually, what you'll do with calisthenics is you'll create lean muscle. And the problem with calisthenics too is they burn a lot of calories, which therefore means you're probably, and if you're not dieting properly, you're probably going to put your body in a state of burning muscle first in order for it to get its calories. So it's sure you'll lose weight, sure you'll start to look a little bit toned up, but you'll also lose muscle mass. So you want to be contracting the muscle. You want to be figuring out a way to really focus on like bodybuilding movements in order for you to get that nice defined musculature that you should be looking for. So there's that. I know it's a little bit difficult because you may not have a lot of weight lying around. But like I bought 3 sets of bands before all this shit started fucking happening, knowing full well, like, oh man, I'm going to need to like squeeze my fucking muscles. And I've done very well with bands. I love banded stuff. It's not the same as lifting actual weight, but it's a lot better for the tendon, ligament, and muscular connection than just lifting free weights because a lot of the time free weights are a little bit more like abrupt and people can, especially because they go way too heavy, instead of focusing on the form and getting the proper contraction, they can create bad habits, which is also something that I have done in the past as well, which is something I'm working on right now. The cool part about bands is, let's talk about this. So everything is based off of leverage, right? So if I'm using free weights and I'm doing a bench press, as the weight starts to get further and further away from my chest, my leverage takes over more and more. And that's usually having a lot to do with bone structure and all that other good stuff. The difference with resistance bands is the more you go out further, the more resistance that's being applied. So it's kind of like reverse training, and you get a better squeeze at the top of the movement, right? It's like the what the hell? I want to say like, so you have eccentric and concentric, right? So as you start to do more of the concentric movement, there's more of an applied pressure. Whereas with free weights, it's the opposite. The concentric motion is more so at the bottom of the movement. And then you're trying to kind of like release that kind of pressure off of you, especially as you're bench pressing, right? Which leaves a lot of room for the muscle, especially at the top of its contraction, to not actually be contracting fully. Think about it that way from a scientific standpoint. So bands are phenomenal for you to be able to get the full contraction of the muscle. So if you haven't already, try to go online, get yourself some bands. I've showed what I've got before as far as my bands are concerned. Bands that make her dance. Let's go ahead and look at this. I'll show you guys as well what I got previously. What I got. I got my little finger bands. Oh, yeah. And then I got these bands. They're still, and they're available. Let's see if you can actually order them from Amazon, though, because I tried to order something from Amazon the other day, and they weren't shipping it. Share. Good stuff. All right, let's see if you guys can see this. Those are the bands that I purchased. And you get the little door stopper thing so that I could do like my tricep pull downs and lat pull downs and a few different things. I got the grips right there in order for me to be able to obviously latch it on there and do different stuff. Like I did bicep curls with that today. Then you got the little foot ones too. I used those the other day because I got a bench and I was able to do hamstring curls and leg extensions with these bands. So everything worked out quite well. I just attached those and strapped those to my ankles and set it up so that there's tension behind, and I rocked and rolled that way. So these bands are fucking definitely life-saving right now as far as my workouts are concerned. Signal. I got a signal right now saying, Corey, you got to take your fucking Lipolyze and you got to take your ashwagandha right now and crack open your goddamn Zevia. So let's do that. Let's do that right now, eh? All right. Cheers to you fine fellas. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. Ha. Come by. So yeah, check out these bands. Like I said, I bought 3 sets. I'm still trying to figure out a way to deadlift with them. And that's why I got 3 sets, is so that I could have better, what's it called? Resistance, more resistance. So we'll figure out how to do that. I'm still trying to figure out how I could fucking deadlift with these things. It's a dance right now. That's the beauty of the situation, is you got to get creative. Anyway, we'll stop that. And I'm going to scroll down. Yeah, the economy is totally effed. 100%. The pandemic of 2020, or the pandemic panic of 2020, is going down in history along with WMDs in Iraq and also 9/11. We will be paying so many taxes for the next 30 years for this. Absolutely. The system has been broke for a long time. I don't know how it can get worse. Well, that's what they're doing, is they're just flushing it down the toilet. The economy is going to get more stimulation than I will for my bathmate. Good shit. My new recipe: boneless chicken breast, rosemary, basil, oregano, squeezed lemon, liquid aminos, crushed garlic, onion powder, sea salt, cherry black pepper. That sounds crazy. It's a simple meal, broiled. I don't do any of that. I don't season anything right now. I don't put, the only thing that I put on is I do a little bit of liquid aminos for my tilapia and rice, and I do a little bit of red hot, like just a couple dashes of red hot for my rice and my chicken. That's it. Gonna get an air fryer when employment is back and I got my FU money back in order again. Yes, and yes, absolutely. I hate deciding what to eat all the time. Yeah, it causes a lot of stress. That's why I feel a lot more free having this fucking meal plan set up for me. And I don't have to worry about shit. I know what I'm eating every second, like every time during the day. Motorcycles. I bought the Yeti off Amazon after Corey recommended a rack style fryer. It's awesome. Good man. Yeah, your life is incomplete without an air fryer. I hate to say that, but it is life-changing. I promise you this. It's organic peppercorn. The brand I got is Frontier Co-op. Cool. I don't do pepper. I don't like peppers. I don't like pepper. I don't like black pepper. I don't care for it. It's not my thing. Average age from this whatever is 80.5 years old. Average life expectancy is 72 years old. But let's lock everyone at their homes. Military roaming the street, violation of personal liberty. Exactly. And they're going to guilt you with, but don't you care about these people's lives? No, sorry. You've lived a good life so far. If you wanted to continue living this life that long, you probably should have taken care of yourself. Like I said, 99% of the people that have died from this have had some type of comorbidity in their past, and they're dealing with some level of heart disease or immune deficiency. Sorry. Sorry. What if it was your grandparents? Yeah, exactly. Mine are dead already. Yes, moratorium on rent and shit. Damn, that would help way better than making those bankers get their due. Exactly. But yeah, okay, sorry. We are going to end up owing all that. Exactly. Nah, just no payment is fine. Exactly. It's not nutrient dense. Neither is regular. Okay, I see, you just keep talking about the pepper. We are under siege. Something else is happening they don't want us to know. 100%. I agree. I honestly don't know what's the right thing to do right now. Just take care of yourself, man. Every day, wake up, go through the motions of making yourself better. And when something presents itself, then respond accordingly, but have a game plan. Shit. Post a link. Oh. Which bands do you recommend? I just showed you guys on Amazon. I'll post the link in the chat. Copy. That was a little bit of a delay, but whatever. Sorry. Trying to catch up with all these comments. Quiet up there, turds. So who's going to pay to keep the lights on and other essential services? Sure, the government. I mean, the government already has some stuff associated with that. So I mean, they could pay employees that work there. They could. These businesses probably have some extra cash that they could keep things running. That would be rather irresponsible if they didn't have something planned for that. That's the only thing that I think that the government should be able to do. I mean, that's what they should be doing anyway, is infrastructure. But the rest of this stuff is no. It's like you can't control businesses and people's lives, plain and simple. So, yeah, not paying bills, it's rather complicated. You think it's more complicated than a fucking $2 trillion stimulus bill of handing people money? But between renters making a living, mortgages, the banks, all very separate. Yes, but no. You could just pause it. Like I said, everyone pauses. You don't have to pay your rent, right? Then people don't have to pay their rent. So it's kind of like forgiven in a way. 13 deaths, and they're talking about similar. Yeah, it's stupid. It's exactly what it is. They cut off Mask and Geek because Vince said the R word and then told YouTube to fuck themselves. So now we need fucking language police. YouTube is officially language police. Instead of people being able to make the choice to not fucking support that channel or not listen or whatever, YouTube steps in and says, "Oh, people can't say that." It's like, no. I don't care what type of company you are at this point in time. I don't care. You don't have the right to do that. You really don't. Corey's on Live Leak for what? Never heard of that. Don't know. I think you're just pulling my chain here. Anyway, I don't know what that is, so sorry. Got you the record bands. Scrolling. Scrolling. That's what I'm doing here, but I'm talking to you guys. So, what do you think of the Athlean X full body regimen, no weights video made currently? I'd say do it like once or twice a week, but you need to figure out how to get some no kidding resistance on your muscles. Uh, he's already lean too. His body type is the type of body that is actually more set up for body weight exercises. But people like me, more mesomorph, like, no, sorry. I'm not trying to look like that guy. I'm not trying to look like a gymnast. I'm trying to look like me, like me as a super fucking hero. You know what I'm saying? So, but listen, his stuff is good stuff. It's good quality stuff. So I like it. But the, what's it called is silly. There's a link to the severity of blah and the use of ACE inhibitors. These are drugs used in blood pressure, diabetes, more older men. They make ACE receptors. Yeah, I was watching something the other day too. What's his name? Valuetainment. Bet David. I always forget his first name, but I know his last name. And he was interviewing these two guys, and that's essentially what they were saying too: is people need to take this certain type of medication. And it's like, guys, like the answer to everything is more medication. Why don't you just start telling the average American, you need to fucking work out, you need to diet properly, you need to cut out sugar. You know, of course, that would put the fucking pharmaceutical companies out of fucking business. So they can't say that. So that drives me fucking crazy. But you're absolutely right. Yep, the larger the government, the shittier job it does. Absolutely. We need to streamline it. We need to fucking make it operate better. The whole idea is to prevent hospitals from being overrun Italian style. If there is no threat of hospital overrun, then restriction would be minimized, supposedly. But I see what you're saying. April 1st, 10 days of darkness. Okay, we'll see. Oh, shoot. Yeah. The guy I used to train MMA with, Joey Beltran, does bare knuckle boxing. It's pretty wild stuff. Yeah, they took down his channel earlier and now it's restored. So it's good. Sweet. All right, I want to get on topic real quick before I open up, not the phone lines. Obviously, I don't have a phone line. We're going to do StreamYard. If you guys want to call in, like I said, I'm going to post a link in the chat. If you don't want to be on camera, just turn the camera off, but you need to have a working mic and you need to have headphones so that we don't hear the, what's it called? So, excuse me. Crazy. That's what I think it is too. Without going into too much detail, I think that's exactly what it is. I think the push for quarantine is an ability for them to start setting that up too as well. So I almost got blasted by my pharmacist for telling a worried person to wash their hands to beat the virus. Yeah, I feel you. Cool. All right. The main thing that I wanted to come on here with today is this. What is the red pill? There's so many people out there that try to define it, but they don't define it down to the brass tacks of what it is. And this is essentially what I want you guys to call in for today, is answer this question. On top of, you could just call in. It's my 50th episode of Live with the King. You can call in just to say, hey, what's up? I like your content. Keep it going. Or whatever you guys want to talk about. You could ask me questions about game. Like, I'm opening the Q&A up to whatever. But I wanted to start us off with a talking point for sure. So in my infinite wisdom now of understanding what this is, I've been able to deduce what the red pill actually is, because a lot of people out there are saying, oh, it's a more focus on a masculine style of life. It's going your own way and turning away from the status quo, so to speak. It's understanding your quote unquote mental point of origin and all this other stuff. And I believe that those are all part of the red pill. But what is the actual red pill? What is the base level of understanding what the red pill is? I'll post this up too real quick. Yeah, Corey, the ACE2 receptors in the lungs are the pathway for the virus. Gotcha. That's exact. Okay. That makes sense. And that's why they'd probably be doing that stuff. Anyway, Nice. Oh yeah. So let's get back to the red pill real quick. The fundamental foundation. So here's what the blue pill is. The blue pill essentially is this. The blue pill is I hate to use the term matrix. I'm not trying to get too fucking conspiracy theory here, but it is essentially a lie that is told to people from very, very early ages. It's a mindset that's kind of been like dropped in. We'll call it maybe even like a virus. Like if you were to put a computer virus in there, right? And what it does is it mimics certain things in order to like teach people a new way of life. And this new way of life, essentially what it comes down to, the base level of understanding what the red pill is, especially for men, but it's society. You got to understand this from a societal level. So we understand and we know that there's a feminine imperative, right? The feminine imperative, the feminine primary social order is essentially the ruling class. It is the rule of law here. So what does that mean? And what is the blue pill? So essentially the blue pill is breaking it down like brass tacks just to give you what it can be like honestly just like codified as. It is that women are the protected class. They are a higher class citizen, and that men are disposable. Think about that. Now, there's some truth to that. There's a little bit of truth to that, right? In a very like small understanding of the sexual marketplace, that women are a protected class and that men are disposable. But what it is it's a social programming that puts men down and elevates women as the higher level like proponents of the species. Now we all understand, right? Women are necessitous for childbirth. Women are necessitous because they have the eggs, and there's a part of us biologically that will put women in a certain category because we want those eggs from a species level, right? From a biological level of like, oh, we'll compete, we'll go and get resources, we'll become protectors, and we'll fall into that role. But no, what the blue pill is it's a social primary order that promotes this. Okay. So the blue pill, what it does though, is it teaches men to value female relationships above their masculine relationships, above their male relationships. So it's a flip. It's an inversion. It's an inversion of how it should be. Because essentially what it comes down to, what the red pill is, and what everyone needs to start to understand is this. The deepest red pill truth that I could drop in here to you guys is this. Your relationship with men is a far greater relationship than you'll ever have with any woman. I want you to swallow that pill. I want you to think about this at a deep level. Because women, honestly, as much as men try to say this, women cannot feed you emotionally. Women cannot lead you and direct you and mentor you. Women can't be your friend. Women can't help you attain the goals and the dreams that you are trying to attain. They cannot help you get there. Men can do that. Men are the people in your life. Men are the people in your life, especially like a good tight inner circle, that are going to be able to help you build yourself into a better version of you. They're going to be able to help you network and help you grow your business, help you grow strong, help you grow more resilient, help you develop grit, help you develop determination. They're also the people that you can go to when you're having emotional struggles or issues, right? Now, this is a common misconception within the blue pill. They try to sit here and they try to broadcast it. Oh, men can be emotional, but what does that mean? It means be emotional with your women. Open up and act as though you're her friend. Open up and act as though you're her girlfriend. And then there's the other segment that kind of has like this toxic masculinity type of thing, that men should not be emotional. Well, men should not be emotional with their women, and men should not rule or lead via emotion. But behind closed doors, with their inner circle, men should be emotional with their brothers. But what does this mean? It's not emotional in the female sense. of sitting there crying and getting sobby-eyed and playing the fucking victim all the time. That is a female expression of emotion. All it comes down to when it comes to dealing with your brothers is saying, hey guys, I'm not feeling confident here. I need some help. Hey, I'm feeling less than today. I'm feeling like I'm not fucking hitting the mark. I feel like I'm off course. I feel like I'm off center. I'm feeling a little bit out of balance, right? These are emotional for a man. These are the emotional centers. These are the emotional motivators as well. This is a way for when a man is feeling these things, that's when he can start to become overwhelmed. And the worst part is we've been raised because of our blue pill conditioning that having a relationship with men, especially having an emotional relationship with men, is considered and constituted as homosexual. There's a deep-seated fear via the blue pill that men who get together in order to talk about their emotions and ask for help from other men and get together and actually have some type of brotherhood type of bond, a relationship, which is essentially what that is homosexual. It's so funny because LGBT and all these other things and all this like feminine directed social primary order and all this other stuff, they'll sit there and they'll pretend as though they're very accepting of all these different fluid sexual roles and all this other stuff. But the second masculine men get together, or these men team up together like what we're doing in order to attack that primary, that female sexual social order, what are the biggest things that are hurled at you? Number one, who hurt you, right? So they're trying to get you emotional on an emotional level, shame, guilt. Number two, they're going to call you an incel, right? Which is funny because now they're attacking you sexually. They're making fun of your sexual prowess as a man. Number three, they're going to attack the size of your penis, which again, sexual shaming. And then number four, they're probably going to call you a rainbow person, which is funny because they sit there and they tout over and over again, oh, we're accepting of all these people. We're accepting of all this other stuff. We're accepting of all these sexual expressions, until it comes to a man who is for sure straight, but then they'll use that as a target. Because what they don't want is they don't want men to understand what the red pill is. And the red pill is essentially this. It is the fact that women and relationships with women are on a lower tier and are not nearly as valuable as a man's relationship with other men and his brothers. That is what the red pill is. And I think that's the biggest thing that's missing right now in the red pill movement itself, is that even though we have people that sit here and they speak out and they talk about red pill truths, we still have yet to see men who are willing to drive the conversation towards this, because it's still scary to sit there and say, men, we need to meet up. We need to come together. We need to create programs. We need to create spaces. I hate using the term space right now, but we need to create spaces where men are able to mentor men on this red pill style of life, where we spend the majority of our time around one another, building each other up and training other men how to deal. Because here's the thing, is that we do have to have female relationships. We do. But the problem is that men today put way too much stock in their relationship with their quote unquote significant other. Relationships with women, this is the deepest red pill truth. A relationship with a woman is just a placeholder. It is a means for us to procreate and to have sex. If you really look at it, at the end of the day, there's no more benefit. There are no other perks. There's no other value added to a man's life other than those two things. And the worst part is, especially with these women who are trying to sit there and preach an egalitarian relationship, most men in today's world don't know how to establish the boundary and be the captain of the ship within their own homes to keep that woman in that place. Then the worst part is as well, they don't have a brotherhood, an inner circle to fall back onto when they start to slip. And then they start to slip emotionally in their own household. And then they start to turn the wife into the quote unquote best friend. And by that point in time, your frame is gone. You are no longer the captain of the ship. You have allowed her to infiltrate your space, your mind, your direction, your masculinity. And this is why we are in the situation we're in today. Men, it is not rainbowish to cherish and covet your masculine relationships. Now, on the other hand, there shouldn't be any sexual relationships going on between men. I'm a 100% firm believer in this. Because why? Men, we operate on a constantly on the sexual marketplace. As we go out, everything is sex to us. That is our driving motivation. But between men, that needs to be the one spot, the one location, the one place where you can turn off that sexually charged energy and that as a motivation, as a drive. And that's why that level of trust needs to exist. That won't take place in this space. There's a difference between a brotherly relationship, right, and a sexual relationship. I want you guys to sit there and I want you to think about that and focus and understand that, right? There's true love there. That's where, and I hate to say like true love in the sense of like what it's kind of orchestrated as today, because love between a man and a woman is very, very much conditional. I'd say love between a brother as well is conditional, but there's far more nuances there. Like if I'm a mentor, I'll allow you, just like my son, let's say if I had a son, I'll allow you to slip up every once in a while. I'll allow you to make mistakes, but I'll still be here. Unless you start doing some toxic ass bullshit and you are no longer on the team, so to speak, that's when you get cut off. With a woman, it's like one or two and you're done, right? But as a brother, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to do different types of things in order to like build you up and ensure that I'm there to alpha. So that essentially is what the red pill is. It's a complete inversion of where we invest our energy as far as what our relationship should be. The red pill is investing more into your masculine relationships, coveting your masculine relationships more so, and understanding that your masculine relationships take a higher priority in your life than the relationships with a woman. The best part about this too is this: it's going to create a better relationship with women as well. Because one thing I've noticed in the way and the strategy that I've taken with my dating life over the last 2 years, as I've awakened to this whole red pill and put it into practice, maybe 2.5 years, let's say, is the more distance I put between her and I, the more that I'm gone and I'm not around her, because familiarity breeds contempt. The more that I have an ability to just up and leave and go hang out with my buddies or go do some masculine ass shit, the more she's attracted and aroused by me, because there's a level of mystery there. I have the ability to get up and walk away. I have the ability to draw boundaries. And then the next thing is that I have a band of brothers that I can lean on and I can discuss. That's what the WarTribe is right now, guys. That's why the WarTribe is flourishing at this moment, because it's a group of men where we sit there and we get to ask questions and talk to one another about, hey, where's my thinking on this? Where's my logic? I'm emotionally here, but I want to come up with a game plan and a solution. What can I do? What can I do here? What can I do when it comes to dating? What can I do when it comes to my fitness? What can I do when it comes to my supplementation? What can I do to drive myself in this direction to be better? How can I manage these relationships? How can I manage my growth in this direction? Right? That's why the WarTribe is the front fucking lines right now in changing and shifting the world from a blue pill ideology into a red pill fucking reality. So for those of you guys that have been timid to get involved, that's what the WarTribe is about. It's about putting masculine relationships at the forefront of your psyche and having the action to back it up. So if you guys don't know and you want to join the WarTribe, do go to www.thewartribe.com. Tremendous group of men. Now, with that said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the old phone lines right now to, oh shoot, I think I'm going to have to back out real quick. Don't mind me. I'm going to back out real quick like shit. I should have copied this earlier, but no big deal. Here's the link to StreamYard. Please do click the link in order for you to get in there. Now, like I said, the crazy thing is right now, I don't know what the hell's going on with me, but I got to take a piss again. What the fuck? So go ahead, click the link. I'll see you guys in the queue. I'll be back in 30 seconds or more, and then we'll get the call-in aspect. Oh, yeah. All right. I'm going to add one person at a time. So just let you guys know that's kind of how it's going to rock and roll. So I need to put my headphones on real quick. Hey. Hello.
What up?
What's up, dude? How are you doing today?
Hold on, let me shut my door. I'm doing wonderful. You know, I went to Wegmans today and I bought all sorts of like low carb shit because today, dude, I ate 2,100 calories yesterday, the amount I eat most days.
Okay.
Mostly every day. And I was so fucking hungry today, dude. I was salivating. I was thinking about food. I was watching, and this isn't every day. Like, so most days I'm just totally chill. And I just was like, oh, I was just like, just wait, dude, just wait. And I was lethargic at work. I was like, dude, my body is like craving like sweet potatoes or something. Like, I was like, I needed something. Anyways, I waited it out. And then I just went straight to Wegmans. I'm like, dude, I'm getting so much fucking shit.
Good.
Which I never do. I usually eat the same fucking thing.
No, you're fine. How long have you been going low carb for, though?
I don't do low carb.
Oh, I thought you just said low carb. Low calorie?
Pretty low calorie. I guess you could say low carb. I mean, like I'm like at 150 grams of carbs, which is plenty for me, I think. You know, I'm not a big guy by any means.
Sure. How long have you been doing it for, though, is my question. And you've been working out at least 5 days a week. Is that correct?
No, I don't work out 5 days a week. No, I used to.
Okay.
And I don't anymore on purpose.
Okay.
I used to work out 5 days a week, and I actually found for me, now this is just for me and my lifestyle, that doing full body for me and really hitting it hard volume wise for about an hour and a half, 2 hours every other day was better for me.
So that's 4 days a week, essentially.
It's essentially because of the volume.
Okay. Well, I think essentially where I'm going with that is this. Every 7 days, you're going to need to up your calorie intake with one meal. This is what we call in the fitness world a cheat meal, where you restore your glycogen, right? And you go a little bit higher in calories, because what's going to happen is your body's going to create a rhythm And the level of calories that you're eating right now, being at a deficit, it's gonna do exactly like what you're talking about. It's gonna serve almost as like a holy crap. That's why the hunger comes in. You feel me?
Yeah,
So
and
you
I've
need to set
learned.
yourself up for a situation where you can refeed, is essentially what we call it, a refeed, where you can put glycogen back into your system. So it should be, that meal should be high carbohydrate as well. But the problem that I do is every once in a while I'll throw like sugar and sweets, and because like I've been craving that for so long, and that's also not very good. So I instead have a meal that's pretty high in complex carbs, but I'm satiating some level of gratification as well from it.
Yeah, it's pretty wild because I've learned that, but I haven't been able to put it into practice because I just have been focusing. But I know what you mean. Like, I mean, I know my body's gonna catch up to this. Like, it's catching up right now. Like, as far as like
Mm.
my metabolism, and I know it's important to like just like what you said, to pop it out of order every once in a while to like confuse your metabolism a little bit, to be like, okay, so how many calories do you recommend going over? I mean, roughly. I'm not. I know it's not down to the fucking pinch of salt, but like on those days where you go, I'm sure. What are you at? Like 2,500, 26,
Yeah,
27?
I don't know. I leave that all in the hands of my coach. I don't want to know the numbers, because then that way, once I become too obsessive about it, like kind of like where you're at, where you're like, Corey, what should my cheat meal fucking calorie be like? And then you're sitting there eating your fucking cheat meal and you're stressing about the amount of calories that you're having, right? It doesn't serve you that well. Right. So it's like, don't worry about it. You're also rather lean as it is. So you might be able to get away with throwing some sugar in there and doing a bunch of different stuff, but just have one meal where you let go. And then that
Now,
should last you for 7 days.
as far as your like, what's your take? Because this is always a topic that I love asking people that have knowledge on this subject. What's your take on like stevia? I know you drink those drinks, and as do I. They're
Mhm.
such a great way to mix things up.
Yep.
Um, what's your take on that? I don't know anything. Like, I don't have any science-based knowledge
So
on fucking stevia or
stevia is
bullshit like that.
awesome because it's personally, I fucking hate the actual. I hate stevia, like actually taking stevia and putting it in like drinks and stuff like that, because it's got this weird after, it gives me a headache. It's weird.
Hmm.
But I mean, the Zevia, they do such a good job. They mix it itself. It's 0 calories, and the cool part about it, as far as its sweetness is concerned, so the thing you have to understand about sweets is that there's always an insulin response to it, right? So there's a number that's allocated to it, and I forget exactly what the scale is called as far as measuring your is it glucose response or insulin response or something like
I
that?
think it's glucose or insulin. Yeah,
No, it's
like compared to
yeah,
sugar. Compared to
correct,
sugar.
correct. Yeah, sugar, regular table sugar, or sorry, raw sugar has like a measure of 42, which is, not good, but it's not the worst. Regular sugar, like the refined sugar, that's like 52 or 56. Believe it or not, all these hippies that fucking use agave syrup and all this other stuff is 105. It has the highest fucking insulin response out there. Stevia is at 0. So you don't get an insulin response, but you still get the satiation of sweetness from it.
Mm.
One thing that I use in the morning in my oatmeal is a monk fruit sweetener. It's called not Lakota, something like that. It's like a Native American type of name, but it's a monk fruit sweetener, and the monk fruit isn't bad either. So look into that as far as like a sweetener is concerned if you don't like stevia. But stevia registers as a 0 on that scale. So you're not getting any fucking insulin response from it. And that's why stevia is also phenomenal with people that are doing like keto, because you don't want to get any type of insulin release, which is going to throw off ketosis.
I'm sure you're a expert in keto. I'm sure you've done it being in the CrossFit scene. That's pretty popular in that scene, isn't it?
I've done it. Yeah.
And how did
The
that
problem, the
work for
problem
you?
that I've had with keto is this, and it was the same thing that happened to me just recently with carnivore, is there's something about my body that still does register the amount of calories that comes in, right? And the thing is, and like, I'm not good with fasting. I do have to eat every day. because I'm 237 pounds and 200 of that or more is muscle mass. So my body needs calories constantly, right? So fasting is not good for me. Essentially, too, as well, my body can go into starvation mode really quickly and then start storing things as fat quickly as well. So the thing I started to notice with fat adaptive diets is I could only get to about 15% body fat, and I could never cut below that 15% mark. I had to go into a calorie deficit, and believe it or not, I needed carbs and I needed to eat 5 to 6 meals a day. So that's why I do this bodybuilding style diet.
Yeah, and that's the diet that I prefer as well. For
It's just hard. You need more discipline. You need more discipline. Like with keto, you can have fat bombs and you could eat kind of like good stuff, right?
Yeah, but I don't like that. I kind of don't like that for me. Just for me, like I can't do the fat bombs. It throws me off. It makes me not disciplined, and I'm so disciplined when it comes to it that I kind of like just being like, oh, I'll just eat my chicken and my shit. Like I'm cool. Like you know what I mean?
So let me ask you a question. What are your goals though? What are you trying to accomplish?
Under 10%.
So
at the moment.
Yeah, I haven't seen many people that are doing keto that can get under that percentage. What's stopping you right now from hiring a bodybuilding type coach that can get people 10% and below? What's stopping you from doing that?
I'm just enjoying myself. I'm a lean guy. Getting under 10% for me is not like a over the hill challenge. I've done it many times.
Okay.
So for me, it's just like right now I'm redisciplining. Summer's coming up. I'm lifting heavier than I ever have.
Okay.
Ever at a lower body weight.
Well, so again, though, just being devil's advocate here as well. I know for me personally, you know that I used to own a CrossFit gym. I've been in the fitness world for a long time. I can program the shit out of athletes. I've created like very, very high level athletes. I've sent 2 teams to the CrossFit regionals here in Southern California, which is pretty fucking high level. But when it comes to me creating my own training plan and my own diet plan, I'm fucking ass. And the other thing is this, I don't want to be thinking about it all the time because I have other stuff on my plate. So for me, it took me a while to hire a coach. I had to really, really let go of my ego because before it was like, oh, you don't need to spend money on this. You don't need to do this. But for me now, because I'm focusing on so many other things in life, I would much rather pay somebody else to worry about those things in my life and just fucking go through the motions. You feel me? And that didn't happen obviously up until about maybe like 2 years ago when I was 33, where I had this epiphany of like, outsource this, even though it's a strength of yours. It's a weakness because you can't follow your own stuff, but even though this is a strength, turn this over to somebody who might be even more proficient, and that's their job only. So that's the only thing that I would throw out there at you is if you got some expendable cash and you want that goal, because that's the other thing too, is I do weekly, well, actually more than weekly check-ins with this guy. I have to like back double bicep and front double bicep pose, taking photos and sending it to him, and I'm fucking held accountable. You know what I mean? So
no, I did Myron for 3 months, strict, down to and I know. I know you don't have to say. Myron is knowledgeable, but he's kind of skinny, and he's like, but at the same time, I was just taking eggs from someone else's basket, learning and moving forward. I'm not like, oh, this dude knows what's up and only knows what's up.
For sure.
And he taught, I mean, I know their whole online business model. It's pretty bullshit. But at the same time, I learned some stuff. It's way too expensive, but I have expendable cash. So I didn't really care.
Yeah, what's he at? $295 a month?
Something like that. I don't even know. But but it was like $250, $265 a month. But anyway, I was like, Myron, I want to do two or 3 months. I'm going to do 3 months and I'm done. I just want to learn what you're pushing out, and that's it. I don't.
Yeah, that's the average. That's the average. What's it called? 16 weeks ish. 12, 16 weeks. Yep.
And I'm still on that regimen, although he's no longer involved with me.
Yeah, that's awesome. But do you have anybody holding you accountable? Is the next question, other than yourself?
No. So I'm still on that like mental accountability frame from that, but it'll soon run its course.
Sure.
And I will be back in the wasteland by myself.
Well, this is where I would suggest, obviously you belong to WarTribe, post your photos, like like this is actually something that we should do as far as part of WarTribe. Like post Monday fucking morning photos. Everybody post a picture of your fucking weight on your scale and do a front double bicep pose. You know what I'm saying?
Double B, my favorite.
Front double bicep, baby. Like let's hold each other accountable. If you don't want to go out and get a what's it called? I'm open to us getting that froggy with it. Might as well. You know what I'm saying? Uh-oh, I lost you. I'll wait for him to come back. Nick, I'm going to go ahead and add you in right now since he's...
Hello.
What it is? How we doing?
What's good? I'm just having a blast right now, trying like really calming myself down lately.
You're calming yourself down?
Yeah. This is meditative in a sense.
What is?
Just listening to you, chatting with everybody, keeping conversation.
Yeah. Good stuff. What do you got? You got anything you want to contribute?
Yeah, I finally started making small changes. I've gotten on these, with the exception of today, I forgot to take my supplements. I have magnesium, 5-HTP, maca, St. John's, and ashwagandha.
Nice. And have you noticed anything from it?
Oh yeah, I feel during the workday I have a lot more alertness to me. Sometimes I don't know if that's just me, but there are moments where like I have lapse in paying attention. But that was especially like happened like 3 times today because I didn't take any of my supplements. I forgot to. I was in a rush. But
take them now. Take them now for sure.
The St. John's might as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The St. John's wort for sure.
I also ended up getting a couple of. I have that one cold steel that you guys were all showing off the other day.
Hell yeah! What'd you get?
Pretty much, I think it's the same katana, but that's not coming in for several days now.
Nice.
And I also got this Bowie knife from Hunt Down.
Cool.
Yeah, my first time actually holding one.
The Bowie knife?
Nice. Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of knives, man. Honestly, ever since I was a boy, I've had an affinity towards knives. I don't know what it is, but I grew up in the country. So I would go out with a knife all the time. As a matter of fact, one of my favorite things was just to sit there and like sharpen knives and whittle sticks. As weird as that sounds, like 8, 9, 10 years old. My grandfather got me this really nice Remington folding knife, which I held on to for quite a long time up until probably 3 or 4 years ago. And I moved out of one place and I forgot to clean out the drawer and I left it there. And I'm fucking so sad that I left it there. It was like the knife that I've had the longest in my life.
Especially since it's a family heirloom, right?
Yeah, in a way. I mean, that was a great gift. It hit, I mean, it kind of hit all the wickets of what's it called? Right now, what I carry, hang on, let me show you. My favorite brand, my favorite knife brand right now, my favorite knife company for folders, especially, well, actually not just folders, but is Benchmade. I love Benchmade. I have this HK Heckler and Koch style. It says HK on it, but it's made by what's it called? Benchmade. They partnered together in order to release this one. So this is the one that I carry for my everyday pocket knife. I like this one. Also a huge fan of Spyderco as well for folders. But yeah, I've always had some type of pocket knife. What an amazing tool. So yeah, I mean, now that you're kind of getting involved in that scene, you'll start to see more and more, and you'll see the difference. Like someone said in the chat, like cold steel is garbage. Yeah, cold steel is garbage, but it's like, it was a $45 or $47 katana. It's just fun. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, that's all that one came down to, was we were just all having fun, and why not just fuck around with it? You know what I'm saying? Like use it as whatever, like it's a machete, so to speak. You're not going to prop it up on your wall and be like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. I don't
know anything about that stuff. I just like holding it right now.
Yeah. How's it feel?
Definitely a lot heavier on the blade side than I imagined.
for the Bowie.
Yes, I was
Yeah,
actually throwing it
big knife.
at a tree a little bit, trying to get the hang of it.
Yeah, that's a fucking hard. That's a
I
hard
stuck
knife
it
to
in
throw.
once.
Nice. Yeah, keep playing with it. But I mean, as far as like for me, like I've always been drawn to like very masculine stuff, and for me, that's kind of always been a part of it as well. Like knives, shooting, hunting, fishing, going on adventures. Those are all things that are like a deep part of my childhood that I've always been attracted to. So it's kind of funny that you're just now getting into it. Like it sounds like this is like your first time purchasing a knife or anything like that. There's something
Yes.
about it. It kind of like having that raw material in your hand that's shaped into this tool is fucking absolutely epic.
It
So good
is.
for you.
I gotta learn how to use a whetstone too. I have that coming in with the other piece.
Yeah, dude, I got a whetstone too for the katana as well, and I spent probably like 3 hours the first night that I got it, and I sat there remembering how it felt to whetstone a blade. It's crazy. It's super. I don't know. Like there's something about it. It was very meditative. There's definitely something very much to that for sure.
It's probably the focus of trying to get it completely straight.
Yeah, I mean that's what we men are kind of meant for, is building tools and just going through this process. There's something even spiritual about it, let's say. Also, yeah, you were my first review, weren't you?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for posting the review. Very, very good review. So Nick won the award for first review of my new book. Those of you guys out there that own the book and have read through it or anything like that, please do as well. Follow suit and go and leave a review. Have you gone through the entirety of the book yet?
I am at about 50 pages in right now.
Oh, no kidding. What part are you at? What's that?
Let's see. Latest thing we're talking about. Last thing I remember was the 80-20 rule. What's his name?
Pareto, yeah. Pareto principle when it comes to biology and stuff like that and hierarchy.
Yeah, just a little bit after that.
Good shit, dude. Awesome. And I know that you and I have talked a little bit offline as well, as far as online dating and stuff goes. How's that going?
No, I'm holding off. There's I especially don't have the money for any of that kind of stuff. Since I wouldn't say going gung ho on this kind of stuff, but definitely trying to at least have stuff available to me instead of being completely reliant on whatever happens next.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll tell you this too, just coming from where I'm at as well. One thing I'm starting to notice is online dating at this point in time probably should not be a focus, right? Number two, the marketplace is very, very, very difficult right now. Why is that? Well, everyone is shooting for the quarantine and chill type of approach. Every fucking idiot out there, even the fucking betas and whatever less thans, that's their go-to. It's like, okay, we've all seen the opportunity in the market to go and do this. Might as well try it, right? Shoot your shot.
Do you think online dating had its course anyway? Like it was popular 7 years ago.
I think I can kind of agree with you here and say that I think that we are in the midst of a tremendous transformation. I think that we have seen the end of feminism for sure. I think that we're going to go back to a more simpler form of society where we're going to kind of regain touch with like our nature, our baser instincts, and that's going to be promoted.
You don't think it's going to become more anarchical with people just being frustrated?
Well, I think there's going to be some things that are going to happen here pretty soon that are going to kind of force our hand to go back to the natural order of things. I don't foresee us coming out of this current situation just getting back on track with the way society was. I think that either we are going to see a full-blown economic collapse, which is essentially going to cause another depression, which is going to make it so that our communities need to get better. People are going to separate into tribes and help take care of one another. And then the second we get into tribalism again, essentially any type of tribal type of system that's set up, they are going to fall back into the way that dating and biology pretty much created us. What we've got to see so far is what happens when we allow technology to kind of go unabated, right? And just like we just pulled the cap off of technology and we're like, oh yeah, this is fucking fun. And we wrote it out for the last 14 years, let's say 13 years, because I think that's when Tinder started, was in 2007, either 2007 or 2009. So a full decade plus of this like complete and utter open hypergamy. And it's like, oh shit, open hypergamy needs to be put on the fucking chopping block, because it is not good for a society or civilization. It doesn't further happiness. Essentially it's creating children that are being born to parents that are really not good parents, right? Like, especially I produce a hypothesis in the book that a woman that has lost her pair bonding mechanism to any man has also lost her pair bonding mechanism to her children, because she's so solipsistic at this point that she believes that everything revolves around her. Now with social media and everything like that too, I don't know if you've seen this, but women post up pictures of their kids as though kids are their props. Like, kids are props in their life.
They are the hero. They are the mom.
Yeah, the mom is, well, and also it's almost like, for instance, like my sister got married to this beta. And the whole reason why she got married was because everybody else was getting married, and they were posting up photos on their Facebook and their Instagram of like all these wedding photos and like the whole process of like, oh, now I'm going to be able to take a photo of my engagement ring and the video of him proposing to me. And then I'm going to be able to post up photos and talk about my fucking bachelorette party or the whatever. And then the wedding. And then now I'm just going to get pregnant. And then I'm going to be able to do the baby gender reveal. And then I'm going to be able to do the photos of the baby shower and all this other stuff. It's like me. All these things are tools in order for me to promote myself and just make myself look like this princess. So,
you know what some funny stuff is that I think about sometimes?
Keep going.
The number of licenses you have to do something, but not the number of licenses needed to have a kid. It's
insane. It's absolutely insane. And the thing is that we don't, again, like I talk about, we just don't initiate people into parenthood either, right? Like an initiated society, this is another big thing that goes back to tribalism, is that they would initiate people into their proper roles. There was it
wasn't just the woman having a period or whatever it was.
No,
I know that's how the natives did it.
So for women, it is essentially that, but their initiation into womanhood is having a child. Think about that, because that's something that we can't go through as men. But think about squeezing a fucking human being out of your fucking body. Like, that's fucking crazy, dude. You know what I'm saying? So for a woman,
first it grows for 9 months and as like an alien.
It's like a fucking alien, dude. Life has just come out of that fucking orifice, dude. Like, your body is created just to push this little fucking human being out of you. That's mind blowing. It's mind shattering. It's why women, after they have kids, that's the first thing that they talk about. Like, I don't know how many times you've ever dated a single mom or seen single mom profiles on any of these dating apps or anything like that. That's usually the first thing that they talk about. It's like their greatest achievement is being a mom. And that's all they talk about, is being a mom. And that's like number one thing, right? Even though they're super solipsistic and they don't really fucking care, because they would have stayed with the husband or the baby daddy if that was the case.
They still talk about baby daddy. I remember I had a couple of them at one of my old jobs, and they'd like me. I wouldn't take it further because, like, I'm not doing that. But they would still occasionally end up at work talking about their baby daddy.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is too, especially with open hypergamy and the fact that we've now created a victimhood status, and that single moms are championed as heroes in today's culture. And that's the thing, is what it really should be is a woman that should be heroed and like heralded as a champion is a woman that, you know, remains her chastity, has her kids. Oops, what the fuck did I just do? I'm only here. Oh, maybe I pulled it out of this one. There we go. Yeah, should be playing with my cord. Is a woman that lives 100% in her femininity. Why is that? Because it's very easy for a woman to not be feminine. It's very difficult for a woman to be feminine. Why is that? And what is femininity, right? Well, it's like, well, you don't need to be vulgar. You don't need to react and respond with anger to everything, because it's very easy for a woman to just be emotional and react this way, right? Not sleeping around, because it's very easy for a woman to be able to sleep around. Why? Because our biggest motivator as a man is to get sex. So if a woman can refrain from these instant gratifications and then like hold on to her value, that is a trait. That is a tremendous characteristic when all odds, especially today, in today's society, tell you to sell yourself out. You feel me? So a woman that can sit there and can pair bond to her children and actually be a mother too. There's a difference between being a mom and a mother. A lot of these women's out there, they're single moms. They've produced the children, but they don't know how to mother. Their idea of mothering is, okay, well, now I'm going to go back to work after 6 weeks of leave. I'm just going to dump my kid off with the fucking, if the mom even fucking pumps, right? If the mom even pumps breast milk, I'm going to leave my kid off at the daycare with a stranger, and they're going to feed them the bottle of my breast milk, and I'm going to pick them up 8 hours later. I'm going to come home. I'm going to take some cute photos, but I'm going to sit on the couch, watch fucking Gilmore Girls in my Uggs boots, and fucking take photos and not really mother. It's like moms are no longer around. That's what a mom is. A mom is just a placeholder. Hey, I'm your mom. I gave birth to you. And I'm not really going to do anything to mother you, like care and nurture for you, or actually do anything to prolong your growth.
Right? That's the grandparents' job.
Essentially that, and it's the daycare's job. That's what our government is teaching women today too, is it's like, okay, dump them all off at daycare and get back to work, pay your taxes, right? No, by the way, you're a strong, independent woman for doing this. It's like the government has done a tremendous job fooling us people into believing that we no longer need to parent, that the government will be the parent, that there's going to be some level of infrastructure there that's going to take care of our kids. So now all you got to do is just squeeze them out, put them into the system, and you're good to go. Like,
the government's the best salesman here.
It's very nefarious. It's very, very nefarious indeed. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So that's a female initiation. And then she'll go through, and what I believe after kids are out of the house, she's going to go through obviously empty nest syndrome. And that's going to be another initiation. And that's where I believe after the kids are out of the house is when a woman needs to go through a spiritual style of initiation. Whereas I believe men need to go through a spiritual initiation and an initiation into manhood at 13 years old.
You don't mean the menopause thing, right? You mean something else when the kid's actually leaving?
Yeah. So let's say a woman has a child at 18 and the kid, in my book,
follow-up question. Do you say that's the first or the final?
I mean, well, there's never a final initiation. I think the final initiation in life is death, right? Because we don't know where we go after this. We just transform. That could be an initiation into something else. Who knows? Like, initiation never stops. Everything is all about mastery and growth. So even as a man, you're going to go through all sorts of different types of initiations. The problem is that we've never really truly initiated people in the right directions. I'm reading a really good book right now. It's called The Spiritual Practices of the Ninja. Holy fuck balls. Like, I'm going to do a show on, I forgot who it was. It could have been yourself. I think it might have been Max or somebody, but they asked me to do a show on cultivating the warrior. And I'm going to read some excerpts out of this book, The Spiritual Practices of the Ninja, because this has been the most succinct thing I've ever read when it comes to initiatory rites and so forth. So pretty epic. That show should be kicking off here any day now, I think.
I would like that. I'm also with these blades. I'm curious about what would you call it? Not swordsmanship, but just between good technique and use, or just being able to be combat ready with a weapon.
Yeah. There's a part of you right now that's, and this is a lot of men today, because we haven't had the best civilizations initiate their men into warriorhood. Every man should be a warrior at some base level. What
do you think was the top one then?
I'm sorry?
What do you think was the top civilization?
The top civilization. I mean, well, there's probably 5 that pop up into my mind right now. The samurai / ninja, the Viking, the Spartan, Native American used to do it as well. They would have like war tribes, like bands of warriors and so forth.
Oh, which region or which one?
Well, I can't say that any one was better. I'd say that they all had their pros and cons. But essentially what I would try to do is create like I said, I'd create a civilization that had a hybrid between all 5 of those, right? You can borrow something from the Spartans, like for sure, like an agoge, right? And their ability to live and survive off the land. But the same thing kind of applies to ninja as well. Right now, reading this book, the ninja is probably the most, I mean, because it's the forefront of my mind, but this has definitely been the most succinct that I've seen as far as training and as far as the belief system that ties into my level and my understanding of what spirituality really is. But there's something to be said about the Spartan who also trained their men, their boys, to be tough as nails and to fight as a team as well. So I think from 13 to about 30 is when a man needs to learn to fight as a team. And then after 30, once they're out of military service, is when you need to teach them to become an individual. That's essentially freedom. Excuse me. And that's the same thing with a woman, is after her kids are out of the house and she's an empty nester, so to speak, that's when you need to teach her to no longer be not necessarily a slave, but now that she's an individual, she's free. But the first thing is people can't understand freedom until they've lost freedom. It sounds dark, but the thing is right now, what we're doing, especially for our women in our society, is we're teaching them they're free from the get-go and they're free from consequences. And that's the worst type of civilization out there, because when you create and you develop people that don't understand freedom and they think it's just an expectation, they take freedom to an nth degree where nothing is good enough. And they're just going to keep begging for more and more and more. They have no respect or they don't value it. Right. It's like, if I gave you $100,000 right now, are you going to value that $100,000, invest it wisely, take care of it, see that it grows? Or are you just going to go out to the fucking casino and bet it all on fucking red? Right. Like the chances are that you're going to go and fucking bet it all on red in order to double or triple it, because you didn't earn that $100,000. You don't value it. And that's the same thing with freedom. Freedom is a beautiful thing, but putting it in the hands of people that don't understand how to value it is one of the most destructive things as well.
Have there been examples of what we're living before?
I would say if you start to watch the decay of Athens and you watch the decay of Rome, these two things have definitely been replicated, because you'll see the exact same levels of decadence. You could probably even see it with Egypt as well, right? Egypt fell because of all this. So the greatest civilizations before this all fell because of overpopulation and the inability to have an infrastructure that maintained the traditions.
Just a strong culture, like.
Correct. Culture is. I get into you're approaching very quickly in the book my take on culture. You'll see it.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Anyway, I'm gonna
Look
post.
Forward to it.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm gonna post the link in the chat again for people to come on the StreamYard if you so desire. I'm gonna hold it open for another 2 minutes. We're going to do 2 more minutes. If no one comes into the chat, then I'm going to call it here in 2 minutes, obviously. So please do, if you're looking to call in, please do click the link and hop on in here. Nick, you got anything else for me?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Which of your 6 pillars is the most pivotal?
Ooh, what is the most pivotal?
Which do you think is the most important building block?
Fuck. Well, I mean, it's kind of hard because they all build on one another, right? So if you take one piece out, it's kind of empty.
An
right?
incompletion, yes.
Yeah, exactly. But it obviously works itself up and up and up and up all the way up to relationships. Now, especially going back into what the topic is today of understanding the red pill and understanding our masculine relationships, I think honestly at this point in time, I would say that is the most pivotal as far as that is concerned. Is
Which one you kind of bleeped for a minute? Relationships,
especially masculine relationships. I think right now, as of now, the biggest practice that we need to incorporate into the red pill is cultivating relationships. That's how we learn and practice how to have relationships, which are hard, very difficult. They're scary too, right? Because you can't control them. So if we can get people to flip the switch and realize, holy shit, I need to be investing more into cultivating a good, solid inner circle of men that I trust, that I can open up to in the sense of kind of what I was talking about earlier, and build the fucking tribe. Like that's essentially what MGTOWs are looking for, but MGTOWs are kind of bitter in a way. They kind of want to do everything on their own and just say, fuck the sexual side of things. And that's another thing I forgot to mention as far as like the red pill. What is the red pill too? Red pill is knowing full and well that the sexual marketplace is the oldest standing marketplace, and it's the only marketplace that we need to be perfected into, if that makes sense. We understand the SMP, and we understand how to negotiate. That's the best way to say it. How to negotiate the SMP to create the highest level of value that we can in ourselves. So when it comes to relationships, that's what my masculine relationship should be helping me do, is to maintain my SMP, right? Maintain my 6 pillars, build my 6 pillars, build my value in the SMP. And then if I choose to become a father and have a relationship with a woman, I'm going to have men there to kind of watch my back and mentor me along the way to help me maintain this, because it's very difficult. Right. And that's the beauty of it, is having that is almost like having a father. And if you can have the example of a father / a mentor directly in your life, that's going to be able to make you a better father / mentor to your children and to your, let's say, the word wife, right? Even though I don't like using that term. So relationships are the most pivotal, because up to that point, everything could be done in isolation: the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial. It can just be all about you. You can practically just be a MGTOW. But relationships are a part of our survival. It's a part of our species evolution, right? We are intrinsically drawn to have a tribe. We're intrinsically drawn to have some level of acceptance from other people. We're intrinsically driven to be social. And without relationships, you can't have any of those things.
Okay, then now I'm sort of at crossroads with that last statement.
Why is that?
Isn't a man's one of his most important abilities is to be able to be alone?
Absolutely. So let's also talk about relationship in that aspect. Have you read my first book, Live Your Best Life in 30 Days?
Not yet. I do have it.
Don't worry about it. Essentially, what it comes down to is the relationship with yourself is the number one relationship that you should cultivate. And that's a relationship, right? Learning how to have the model of relationship should come from your relationship with yourself and understanding how to cultivate that with yourself as well. So I talk about it in the book. I say 80% of your happiness and your understanding of relationship and your feedback within relationship should just come strictly from yourself.
Is internal.
Exactly. But the thing is, people aren't taught how to have a relationship with themselves. They're taught to just strictly go after external relationships, which is essentially like what we just talked about. It's a gamble. It's a 50-50 every single time you come into a relationship with somebody. So if you could fill your cup 80% of the way from having a relationship just with yourself, the rest of it, the other 20%, like I said, in that book, I say 12% of it should come from your inner circle, and then 8% should come from outside of that inner circle. And that incorporates also family and children and wife or spouse. 8% should come from those people. So I highly devalue it in comparison to what society teaches people. And I highly value what is devalued in our society, which is that relationship with yourself.
Right, having everybody see your business and everything else.
Yeah. Think about a society where every person out there makes themselves 80% happy by having a relationship just with themselves. What kind of world will we live in today?
Women who go crazy.
Well, not if they were trained. Not if they were trained on how to do so.
You really think so?
I think it'd be a challenge. But if we had a society that pushed that instead of what it's pushing today, I think it'd be far better. That's the thing. People got to understand this, is that women need to be trained. And that's essentially what, if we had a civilization that was steeped in that, I think it would be far better, because women wouldn't be able to react and control things through emotions and manipulate people. And instead it would be like, hey, you need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of yourself. And then have mentors in that space that do that, you know?
Kind of. It's a lot to wrap my head around.
It's not easy to comprehend, right? It's why I separate myself completely from most thinkers in the world today. It is not a very easy concept to wrap your head around. But it is the answer. I'm that confident in it.
I tell you what, you wrote 2 books about it. Better be.
Exactly. So, shit, man. With that said, dude, I gotta get fucking eaten. I need to go and take a shower as well, and I might have a girl come over.
Do you?
So, yeah, buddy. Dude, thanks for the call, man. Honestly, again, thank you for the review on the book as well. And I really do enjoy your questions. Like, you weren't lobbing fucking meatballs at me today at all. So that's good stuff. I want to open up the phone lines more often and have people come in and ask these questions, because what we just had there was essentially like a thought experiment of, hey, Corey, like, you have these concepts. Tell me about them, kind of deal, right? Here's questions, kind of shooting holes in them. So I think that opens up the conversation more, because for me, a lot of the time I'm kind of like hitting like red pill light stuff, but this is like getting to the fucking meat and potatoes of it. I like it. So thank you, dude. Seriously.
Don't thank me. I'm just really a boy. Just trying to figure things out.
Yeah, dude. We're gonna get you there, though. We're gonna get you there. With that said, dude, I'm gonna drop you off and I'm gonna say adios to the rest of the guys. So thanks again.
Later.
See you, buddy. Oh yeah. Oh fuck. Jen says, you just heard me say there, I do need to get my tuchus moving. Fuck it. Strip that shit off. I do need to get my butt moving. Tremendous show. Thank you for making my 50th episode of this show well worth it. I love the feedback. I love the questions. I love that I have such a good group of fucking dudes around that are into this stuff. But like I said, they're not a bunch of fucking yes men that are going to be here and just stroke my shaft. Like, really, really good questions. I think people that are going to listen to this stuff outside of just the live stream are going to really be able to take away a lot of things from this too. So you guys are helping move this movement along. I hope you guys got some better clarity as well on what the red pill is. It's moving masculine relationships into a higher priority, cultivating masculinity within a society, and training a society to understand the sexual marketplace and how to increase your value or maintain your value within that space. That's it. That's the red pill in a nutshell. So with that said, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 4:30 Pacific Standard Time.